Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
All right, not that we're counting. Episode 450.
450?
450. Wow.
That's crazy.
That is
crazy, and they
crazy,
said we
right?
wouldn't last.
I know.
Maybe that was us.
We
I'm
did
pretty
say.
sure it was us, yeah.
We say that every week.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to episode 450. Thank you for listening. So, this will be a one subject show, plus some segments. So we're going to talk about the first two episodes of Andor today.
Just the first two?
Well, the first two where anything actually happens. So,
Okay, I can see where this is going.
Okay.
Wait, when I heard we were going to talk about and/or, I thought this was like a grammar podcast.
we're going to talk about Andor PM.
I was wondering if that was how they came up with his name. Like, if they were thinking, oh, it could be this and/or that. And they're like, oh, Andor.
Let's go with that.
Andor.
Andor.
We'll go with that.
No, we're talking about the first 4 episodes. So there'll be spoilers, blah, 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 blah.
I'm not sure there are spoilers, but okay.
Well, they're certainly not in the first episode.
It's okay.
Right, let's
let's proceed.
We'll
Continue.
get there. So anyway, as you listen to this, the fourth one came out. Well, if you listen on Friday, it came out, Wednesday? It's Wednesdays, right?
It comes out on Wednesdays.
Yeah, anyway, first 4, spoilers, whatever. And other stuff. But let's go some random. Barry, what do you got?
Gotta go with this one. James Earl Jones has officially retired as the voice of Darth Vader. But he will live on through the magic of AI. He signed the rights to his archival voice recordings over to a company called Respeecher. It's the company they've been using for a while now to do like Luke's voice and Vader's voice. So it's a Ukrainian startup that's been working with Lucasfilm.
Really?
They scan in the entire body of voice recordings they have of an actor, and then they use that to basically they'll type in, he has to say this line of dialogue, and it'll spit it out. You know,
so much better than trying to use his navigation voice to like fill in everything that they need. You know,
or that other guy, that Chad Vader guy that
Yep.
was doing it for a little while. That
Yep.
Close but not
Yep.
quite.
You must embrace the turn left at the fork. Yeah, it's just like
The
it just
roundabout.
totally wouldn't work.
Go to the roundabout.
Go to the roundabout, Luke.
If he had, God forbid, passed away and they did this, I think I'd be like, that's kind of not good. But the fact that he's signed off on it, I'm perfectly. In 30 years we could have James Earl Jones voicing Darth Vader in something, and he's good with it. I like that.
Well, and unless they're going to do at some point, and maybe they will, like a full-on Vader movie. He's used sparingly, and his dialogue is not usually lengthy monologues, so it's usually like little spurts. And so, as long as it sounds good, let him do it forever.
And I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah, it's hard to replace that voice.
Yeah.
This is CNN.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, like that's and you know what? He's done it a long time. He's certainly.
He's 91, I think.
91 years old. He's lived a good life. He doesn't need to do this anymore. And they have the technology to have his voice live on as Vader. So that's awesome.
Yep.
Totally agree. I had that as well. Todd, what do you got?
To the surprise of no one,
I have
Paramount Pictures removes the new Star Trek film from the release schedule.
Yeah, that was my other random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just how do you, it's like, okay, we don't have a director. We don't have a cast, we don't have a script, but we have a release date, as we talked about.
And that's a looming
and they had a June
date.
9th release date and 2023. Then they moved it to December 22nd,
2023.
And now it's off the schedule.
And now it's off the date. And will never happen.
So both Star franchises keep announcing movies and pulling them.
You got to
They
wonder
both
whether
got
it's
so
like
much television
it's
going
like,
on.
If it's like a enthusiasm Kickstarter kind of thing, where it's like, let's just see, maybe people will be excited.
I think it helps them, like when they're doing their quarterly financial announcements or something, to say that they've got all these great projects, and then
I think you're exactly right, but this thing went through 2 directors, okay, officially announcing 2 directors and then losing 2 directors, but never at any point like apparently tried to get anyone other than, Kirk and his father lined up.
Well, but Chris Pine has publicly stated over and over again, they're not talking to me. Like, I don't know anything.
Oh, yeah, no, but what I'm saying, at one point they did. At one point they were trying to get him.
Oh, when they were trying to get him and Helmsworth
to do. And he said, but it doesn't appear that there's really been anything since then. I don't know.
I have an idea.
It's so bizarre.
I get that they're trying to do it one more time.
Hire a director, write a script, go into pre-production, and then announce your movie.
Yeah.
They're definitely, the window is closing on this cast. So.
Oh, it is. And that's, I think, I think we're going to see, when we see the Strange New Worlds film, or we see something like this, there'll be a cameo or something like that. I mean,
what if we see a Discovery film instead? Because all the movies, all the TV series, Spawn movie series, which was good, I think, more or less, but
2 of the shows Spawn movies.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
there
2
was
of
2.
the 5.
But you saw sort of some other
more
people.
than not. So
yeah.
This, I just think, like I said, I could totally see, or even just like be kind of cool to do a sort of mirror universe thing, and end up there briefly.
Yeah, they got to figure out what they're doing.
But it's going to be like, put it this way: at this point, they should be wearing maroon uniforms. I mean, they should be in like Wrath of Khan uniforms and stuff like this. The original cast should be.
It could be kind of cool if they wait 5 years and then do it.
Yeah,
with that cast.
It's already been, it's what, 12 years.
In a while.
Yeah. So.
Has it? No, it was 2016, wasn't it?
The first film was 2009.
Yeah.
I'm saying from original to,
Yeah, but they kind of stole. They kind of
really
did have
the same
that stuff.
span is from the beginning of the series to the motion. Oh God, they're going to be all wearing gray. Okay,
that'd be great if they did
we got to wait
we
got to wait 3 more years so they can. Yep.
I would like to see something else with that cast. I enjoy.
I would too.
Some of those movies.
Yeah.
You know what my problem is that I didn't love all of the original different series as much as I did. Some of them I loved more than others, but I didn't dislike any of them. There's been, the last couple of years, there's been a whole bunch of Star Trek I kind of didn't like. So the fact that, I was excited that they were bringing them back, at least in the movies, because I liked all 3 of those movies. Some more than others.
Okay,
what do you mean a whole bunch? Other than Discovery.
Have you not liked other than Discovery?
I haven't been a huge fan of Picard either.
Picard's better than Discovery, I think.
But so there's been like 4 seasons in a row. Take Strange New Worlds out of it. The last 4 seasons of Star Trek I haven't been super excited about. Yeah. So Strange New Worlds was great.
Not great.
And as much as I may have liked some, like I said, like I liked Enterprise, I liked Voyager, I liked Deep Space Nine. Like I liked them all. I liked Next Gen and TOS the best, but I was never like, oh my God, I'm kind of done with this, the way I felt like with Discovery. So, maybe we're just in a better place now with Strange New Worlds, and I hate to even say it, but even with Lower Decks, I mean, it's great. So,
yeah, no, it is great. So,
but I would love to see at least one more movie with that crew.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to also.
Yeah, I would too.
Something with like really, really digging in with all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
I'm hoping that Picard Season 3 is at least fun. With all the people they're bringing back, I hope it's fun.
I hope they could...
Because it wasn't fun the last 2 seasons.
It wasn't. It was the chasing around the freaking basement. No good.
Yeah.
We'll see. So our pal, I don't know why he's our pal, but he should be. Titus Welliver is going to be Lex Luthor.
Okay, so...
He's one of us.
We would hang with this guy.
Yeah.
If he would hang with us, we would hang with this guy.
He collects toys. I bet he'd be on the show. We could get him on the show.
Would be.
Oh, yeah. He's a big, sideshow hot toys guy. We should reach out to him.
It's big, giant collector.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's going to be Lex Luthor in Titans Season 4. So, which is coming soon.
I think that's great.
Yeah. I'm glad that's not something that they pulled off the schedule with this freaking Warner Brothers jerk-offs that they got going on. This Warner Brothers Discovery. They suck a lot. That's all I know. That's more of a business thing than a personal thing.
Yeah, they came up in conversation at my office yesterday.
They're
Tell us what you really think.
Well, they're just being money hungry. Like, there is a little art to this business. Like, let's not just be all about the bottom line.
Well, the other thing is, though,
it's like they're moneyballing it. It feels like they're like,
but
they
also
hired, like the moneyball guys to figure out.
You can
how to
do
run a
that. You can
network.
do this shit with like romantic comedies, and you can do this stuff with other kind of thing with This Is Us and dramas and all this kind of stuff. But when you're jerking around with stuff that has a fan base and is a very vocal fan base, it's like, who's making those decisions?
I wonder if they shouldn't be in charge of ABC instead of there, because La Brea is still on.
That's NBC, by the way.
Oh,
I was going to say, I don't think that's ABC.
Whatever network has got that piece of crap show
I know
on.
I know what network I'm avoiding at what given time, but yeah.
Tell me about it. La Brea is coming back. Last year's, it's funny. I think I caught like a commercial. The number one new drama of the season, and then in parentheses, adults 25 to 54. So it's pretty nichey,
For those of you still watching network television, some of you really liked it.
For those of you still with a cable subscription,
we like those people.
Yes. Oh, I know. I'm just saying, Barry. They're your people. They're your tribe.
They're people.
But
you can have rabbit ears and watch this crap.
Yeah.
Anything else? I have one more.
I got one more.
I have no more. So you guys go for
Go ahead.
I got one more. Deadpool 3. It's like it's.
Oh, that was a whole nother discussion we were going to talk about.
Okay, so let's just have it.
Okay. So awesome. I think this is fantastic. I think if
unexpected for sure.
Unexpected.
Good for Ryan Reynolds.
I will say the first teaser, I thought Hugh Jackman was CGI'd in the background. I thought that was total green screen because you barely saw his face. He just kind of walks by in the back.
You didn't even see his face at all.
No,
but you just heard his voice.
Yeah, but he's got a distinctive walk and stuff, and it was like he's totally green screened. And the next day to see him sitting there on the couch next to him, and I think this is awesome. I think it's great. It's in the
MCU now.
So for those of you who haven't seen, right?
No one who listens to the show has not seen this.
But, so Ryan Reynolds is doing a teaser for a teaser of Deadpool 3. He's sitting on his couch and then he's like, "All right, we're gonna do something." He says, "Hey, Hugh Jackman, you want to play Wolverine one more time?" And Hugh Jackman walks past in the back.
He walks by eating an apple and says, whatever.
Okay.
and first he's like, "Oh, we thought about this. But none of that was going to work out." And so this is perfect. This is exactly what needs to happen because it's now Marvel. It doesn't have to be in continuity with the other things, but it can be, but it doesn't have to. They said in the second time how in the second round how it happens before Logan. So
Logan happens in 2029, so this could be any time.
So you're probably wondering how he could be back when they killed him in Logan, but this happens before that.
That happens later. And,
And when I first heard it, because I saw the headline before you texted me and before I watched the video, I was like, oh, he's going to make a cameo. But it seems like he's like co-starring with Deadpool based on the little bit we've seen so far.
Oh, yeah. No question. This is going to be and it's interesting because in some ways this is like kind of full circle because like Wolverine Origins, he was Wade Wilson, he played Wade Wilson in that. And no, I think this is awesome. I think this is what, they can, we've had so much speculation about how mutants and the X-Men are going to emerge into the Marvel universe. And honestly, I don't even care if it's a parallel timeline or another, aspect of the multiverse, whatever. Just doing something with these characters before these guys age out is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally. We've got, I don't know what year it is in the MCU. Or let's go, what year is it in? Deadpool 2 was in, 2018, I guess, something like that. So it's 2018 is the last time you saw him. You got 11 years before Logan, so it could be any time. So
that was a big deal.
I will always love you, but the captioning is I will always love Hugh.
Did you watch? I watched the video where someone translated their lips.
Yeah.
what because they if you didn't see the second, it's Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds in there talking about what goes on in the movie, but they play music over it, and then there's people who have lip read and then filled in the voices, and they don't like, and there's an effing explosion, and then this freaking guy, and then this guy happens, and then that's all they're saying.
Now, I don't know if I saw something online today and I just kind of swiped past it fast. I don't know if it was real or not. Did they release artwork? Because I saw a picture of Wolverine in the yellow and blue costume holding Deadpool in his arms.
No.
So that was fake.
I think that's fake. I think that's not.
I was like, oh my god, are they putting him in the yellow?
That is the only official image so far.
Okay, no, what I saw today must have been fake then.
But that's awesome. I think, like I said, this was going to be a crapshoot. No matter Deadpool 3 was going to be, they're going to have to tone down language. They're going to have to. They're going to do. It's still going to be R-rated, but they're not going to go over the edge the way they
probably won't be talking about pegging in this movie.
There will not be masturbation jokes, probably. It's just like they had to do something with this character, and this is the perfect way to go. It absolutely is. And I love those two films, and I love them for what they are. It's you can't do this character and play it another way, and this gives another focus. So, and if this is the last thing either of these guys do as these characters, it's still great. So
I wonder if we'll see X-Men before this or in the same time. Because they said, I don't remember the date, but it's 2024.
September 6th, 2024.
So it's 2 years from now.
They got a lot. It would be really hard to do something before that.
Unless they already have something in the pipeline that we just haven't seen yet.
And it's like, unless it's like in another movie, it's, if it's seeded in there,
right.
then that's... But
that's what's interesting. It's like all these things, like here's the timeline, here's the this, here's the that, and then they keep on throwing other stuff at us.
They threw that tiny little Easter egg at the end of Ms. Marvel that kind of, they played the X-Men theme, and, they told her she was a mutant, so who knows what they're weaving in and
yeah,
out.
They could do something.
There could be something in the Marvels.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
I think we all do. You know who else I trust?
Armor Wars. I'm piggybacking on this Marvel thing. Armor Wars, now a movie, not a series.
What?
Oh, really?
Yep, that was today.
Who said that?
But they just announced it at D23 as a series like 2 weeks ago.
They're now reporting it's going to be a movie and not a series.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find the article.
I did not see that.
Yep. Yep. Hang on. Marvel's Armor Wars is now being developed as a movie.
Is that like?
I wonder if it's a theatrical released movie or a Disney Plus movie special type thing.
According to the report, the studio was committed to getting the story told the right way. In that process, realized that a feature was better suited to the project. Yep, and
okay.
Yes, Secret Wars will still set up Armor Wars. And
wait, Secret Wars is supposed to be the final thing in Phase 6.
No, but Secret Wars was supposed to set up. Yep. So.
Okay.
Anyways.
Wait. Armor Wars
Sounds
was set
backwards.
up Secret Wars, or
no?
reverse?
Secret Wars was supposed to lead into Armor. All right, Secret Wars was supposed to lead into Armor Wars. So.
I thought that's the last thing that they've scheduled. Isn't that in Avengers Secret Wars?
Like 4 years from now? 3 years from now?
Yeah, that was the final thing in Phase 6.
Right.
The Kang Dynasty and then the Secret Wars, right?
Yeah, the two Avengers.
That's what they announced. So I thought Armor Wars was well before that.
Maybe not. I mean,
isn't Secret Wars the Nick Fury series?
No.
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. Yes. Okay, you're right.
Secret Wars is the other
confusing us, Todd.
It is confusing. Yeah.
You know who's not confusing? Fanboy Collectibles.
Not at all.
Not at all. Check out their website. Hot Toys Cobb Vanth.
Yeah.
Not ordering, but awesome. Looks great. Head sculpt is amazing.
Yeah, and the weathering on the armor, it all looks great. If you need it, they got it.
You got it. You got to have it.
Pre-order anyway.
Funny, we were talking last week about B9 Robot, and we're like, if X Plus made something, they didn't make a B9 Robot yet, but they're making a Mecha Godzilla. I haven't seen X Is that the same company?
It is X Plus.
It
I have
is.
not seen anything from them.
They make,
I know,
they
and all
make
of a
a
sudden-
ton of vinyl Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
They're
So
always making that stuff.
Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
There's a 1/6 scale Nosferatu if you never want to close your eyes at night again.
Yeah.
That guy's creepy. But
They've got
they
an Iron
everything.
Studios E.T. and Elliot on the bike statue. That's
That's in
cool.
stock
kinda
now.
cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
cool.
Yeah, that's like a serious light up, I think, too.
Yep.
So they got everything. They got, what do they got? Pops and Hot Toys and Sideshow and Kotobukias, and they will be at New York Comic Con, which is sometime in the next couple weeks, I think. So
Yes.
check them out. At all those places, online, fanboycollectibles.com, at New York Comic Con. Maybe we'll actually have flyers. We don't know. We got to talk about that, Todd. Anyone who has, we'll talk about that. That's post show.
Okay.
And then whatever, the store in Newtown, Connecticut. I drove by Newtown just the other day. I was with other people, Troy, so I couldn't stop. Two of them were people's wives, so they definitely don't like to stop at toy stores. We all know that. Oh, let me just run in here look through all the toys for an hour. No, that wasn't going to play. Anyway, check them all out. Tell them the regular Joe sent you. Okie dokie. So Andor, right?
Let's talk.
We
Cassian
have
Andor.
not said a word about it at all, except for maybe a stray text or so.
Yes, we've been.
I want to hear Barry
We've
first.
been keeping it to ourselves. All right, so okay.
If you say the words, I love everything about it, I'm going to punch the screen. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
well, you asked for my opinion, and then you tell me what I can't say.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is new how.
That's episode 450.
Wait,
for
this
you.
has been going on for 449 episodes. What else? What else do you need to know?
Barry, proceed, please.
I will proceed. I am enjoying the ride, but it is a very slow-moving ride. It feels like I know we know it's 12 episodes, right? It's certainly taking its time getting moving. I wasn't kidding at the beginning of the show when I said I don't feel like there's any spoilers because we know he's gonna join the rebellion somehow, and that's kind of all we've seen is kind of him joining the rebellion. And it's a different take on Star Wars because it's a very slow paced, very like character driven. They're spending a lot of time on the characters and the story, where Star Wars is usually kind of light on that. They give you all your mythology in comic books and ancillary material, and they just move at lightning pace usually. And this is not that. It's very slow. It's a drama. They're building tension.
You
They're building
think
a
that
story.
of the... Like, I absolutely thought that of the first two episodes, but I feel like episode 3 and 4, we really got moving. I mean, I think you could throw away the first two episodes, and maybe
I
you
wouldn't
could
want
have
to do that
taken...
because you'd be throwing away the scenes with like the new hottest chick in the galaxy. But
Yeah, I
other
agree.
than that-
Hopefully we see her again, Bix. But I think you could have taken 10 minutes out of those first two episodes, thrown it at the beginning of episode 3, and we'd be where we are. But I totally felt like
they're
3
trying
and 4.
to really let you know who he is. He's clearly
They
an
said
orphan.
nothing, though. I
Well,
mean,
but it was the
first episode, all you knew was he had a sister, he's looking for her, and he was a kid on the planet. That was 45 minutes, and you got like 30 seconds of information.
Do you like it, Dave?
I like it since 3 and 4. I felt like if you, that's what I'm saying. Those, it's curious. We always say, why did they release 3 episodes? The first 2 are throwaways to me.
Well,
But
I was expecting
really
there
like
to be
3 and I really
something-
like 4.
And I watched the first 2 the night that they came out. I watched the next one the next night, the episode 3.
Were you ready to kill yourself after you watched the first 2 that you were upset?
but I kept saying to myself and to my family I was watching it with, I'm like, we got to watch episode 3 because I'm sure something big is going to happen.
Sure
Because
usually
something's they
going to
drop
happen.
3 episodes because there's something in the 3rd episode that's critical to the story. It changes the direction. It gives you something.
If they had dropped 1 and they had dropped 2, viewership would have plummeted before 3. You would have had a number of people not coming back for 3, and I think that not like a huge number, but I'm saying it would have been significant.
From a pacing perspective, I felt like number 3 needed something bigger than what it had to make me feel like, oh shit, this is where it's going. But
there was some action though. But
the action was good.
Yeah, if you had started with 3, you would have been like, okay, we're moving, we're doing. A whole bunch goes on. We're off planet, moving along. But 1 and 2 dragged it. It's funny. I'm looking back at our text because Todd was like,
you said something
did
about...
I ask, has anyone watched Andor? Barry's like, first 2 episodes watching Survivor now. Blah, blah, blah. I've watched and I say I have watched the first 2 episodes as well. So me and Barry watched the first 2 episodes as of Wednesday, the 21st. And Todd, I want to know nothing other than does it meet your expectations? And I say I would not even ask that because after 1 and 2, it absolutely did not at all.
Right.
And then I said Wonder Girl from Teen Titans is going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con. We're all very excited.
We all got very excited.
About it. Okay, so let's
hear your take on it, Todd.
I freaking love this. Okay. I know, I understand every reason why Dave hates it or does not like the pacing.
I hated the first 2 episodes.
Okay, this is a novel. You are getting the character. You're slowly learning who the characters are. You're going through. This is different than anything they've ever done before. Okay, this is a long-form story that they're playing out like a novel. You're kind of easing it into it. It doesn't start in the middle of a fight scene. It doesn't start with the ship trying to escape, whatever like this. It's a completely different way of doing it, and I think it's very, very cool. I think it's beautifully made. This is more cinematic than anything they've had on TV to date. Okay,
because it's not shot in a volume.
But I'm saying, it's beautiful. The texture of this, everything. Like I wrote, it's like evocative of Blade Runner, this kind of city thing to begin with. The urban thing.
And I'm not knocking the volume, by the way, but they built a city to film this in.
That little robot thing was the only sort of cutesy thing in the whole thing, and they didn't even go far with it. And we
didn't see an astromech until episode 4.
This is the first Star Wars made for adults. I really believe that. Purely for adults. They're not saying, well, the kids are going to get this from it, the adults are going to get this from it. This is, one swear word aside, this is the first adult story that they've told. I think Rogue One went very, very close there, but there were some conceits in there, okay, to keep all the Star Wars on. I think this is not going to appeal to everybody, but I really like it. This is probably the best character study we've ever had, and you're not handed that. This is, again, think of it like reading a novel. You're just slowly being introduced to this character through all these people around him.
Yeah, but they don't give enough in the first. I mean, it's still. I get what you're saying.
They should have dropped the 12 episodes in a piece and let you pace it the way you want.
The first 2 episodes,
I would say,
are dangerous.
If this is the thing that's crippling this, is that you're going to wait a week. And again, if I had this in 12, if I had 12 pieces dropped and I could consume this as my own pace, I would be assuming, they continue doing what they've done and ramp it up as they go. I'd be extremely pleased with it. I think waiting a week to see something not all that significant happen, even the end of the episodes, you're like, that's it. That was kind of it,
right?
It's
not
that
like
tonight.
other things we've talked about, where it's not like The Boys, where the last 2 minutes is all the excitement.
You drop, but I'm glad to see them do something. I'm glad to see them do something different. Okay, they tried to ape as much of the Mandalorian as they could in Boba Fett, and that didn't work. This just feels like a different thing, and it feels very. Like I said, I just really like the texture of it, and it feels like I said, it feels like Star Wars for grown-ups.
Well, I just watched episode 4 just before we recorded.
Me too.
And my reaction at the end of it was, there wasn't even an action scene in a 50-minute episode. There was no action in 50 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I do think, but I feel like from 3, 1 and 2 were throwaways to me. I'm sorry.
I don't agree with that. I think they were slow paced, but I thought that the backstory and the context that they gave you was worthwhile.
I think you could have done that. This is television. You could have done that in 20 minutes, but at least we're like, okay, we're moving along. We got the dude from Thor, and we sort of now know what he is, and it all sort of came together in 3. And then 4, I wasn't bored at all. I mean, there was no action, but I'm like, wow, we're really so.
I'm not saying I was
Coruscant.
bored. I'm just saying,
yeah,
for 50 minutes of a Star Wars something to not even have a single action scene.
I was fine with that because I really felt we're really starting to peel the pieces away of. I really got the sense of this is where the rebellion really started. And I really got that sense from this episode. So I like 3 and I like 4. 1 and 2, totally boring. But I feel like we're peeling these.
Could have, unless a lot of the characters that we met early on are going to be significant later. For some reason, if we never revisit these people, I have no understanding of why 1 and 2 were not one story and still 20 minutes shorter.
I think Biggs has to come
totally
back
agree with
point.
that.
So
Biggs has got to play into this.
We got to draw those people back into
just
the story
because we need
somewhere.
the hot girl.
That and
especially
she was an
girl.
interesting character. I mean, she was clearly. I mean, the fact that she was like willing to even go so far as to sleep with a guy she clearly didn't want to sleep with just to protect somebody else. Like, it's the first sex scene we've ever. Not that we saw a sex scene, but it's the first time they've ever even gone there in Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too. Okay. There's a huge number of people who know exactly who he is, but have a great deal of loyalty to him. Okay? And he's not demanding that loyalty or commanding that loyalty. They're extending that loyalty to him. And that shows you his character in a way that, he's different than a whole lot of other people. Maybe we're going to see more of this, but I'm very intrigued by this character, much more so than I was previously. And I said, I think this is, as a character study, I think this is really good. I think in any revolution or rebellion or whatever, there are a handful of people who are critical to it, and you never really know why. And if he ends up drawing all these people in with him, or however, I mean that will make sense. We'll see where they go with it. I'm willing to give it the room it needs to breathe. But I also, like I said, I think this is absolutely beautiful, and the, I just, I know you guys, we like different things, but I just feel being able to be in a Star Wars sci-fi universe without all the cute shit is just awesome.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine with that. But you cannot make a TV show in this day and age and have 2 episodes go on that really almost nothing happened. And I'm a little.
Yet Barry rewatched Lost recently.
A lot happened.
A lot happened. It didn't all make sense. But I wonder if there were fights in the Tony Gilroy or whatever. It's like, no, we got under.
Oh, I'm sure,
dude. We cannot put out the first 2 episodes with nothing going on.
Like a director was given the creative leeway to run with it, and then they said, "Oh, there's no freaking way we can air these episodes once a week. We're gonna have to drop these 3 episodes together."
And the interesting thing about Tony Gilroy is that he has respect for Star Wars, but he's not J.J. Abrams, who grew up a Star Wars fanboy and was, or even a Jon Favreau, who was kind of, it was his lifelong dream to play with these characters. Tony Gilroy got brought in to save and fix Rogue One, and so now he's just extending that, and I think he has respect for it, but he's not. I mean, it's interesting that like in the 4th episode, there's a whole bunch of references to other things in Star Wars, but most of the other shows or even movies, they give you tons of visual Easter eggs and cues, and like in this, it's like lines of dialogue that you can blink and not even miss. I mean, I don't know if you picked up on when we were talking about Minban, but that was where Solo was fighting in the Solo movie, and the Mud Trooper and all that. But like by the 4th episode of other Star Wars shows, you would have seen characters walking. You would have seen, Walrus Man and
absolutely
Dr.
fine
Evazan.
Exactly, and
they're not doing that.
Which is fine. Just get going. I'm sorry. I know I'm impatient.
This is like kind of like the Galaxy's Edge of Star Wars shows. It's like it feels like that. It feels like that universe. It's crafted of that universe, and but yeah, I guess without concession stands. But I really like it. I honestly would have been disappointed if they tried to shoehorn in cameos and stuff like that.
No, well, I don't think we need that.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying it, so I don't want to say that I'm not enjoying it. I think that it could be paced a little differently, and maybe by the end of it, I'll disagree with that and say no, it was perfect just the way it was. I don't agree. I don't think the first 2 episodes were throwaway. I enjoyed that. I mean, I like when directors and showrunners take the time to develop the character. We needed to see more of where he came from, and we did. And maybe they could have done it in an episode.
It was an hour and a half. It could have been one episode. But I think it's interesting because first of all, years ago we were like, Andor, okay, he's going to be a spy and he's going to do stuff. But they've really taken this show, like, if you really get to the essence of Star Wars is the good guys versus the bad guys. Why are the good guys fighting the bad guys? Why is there a rebellion? And they're going to basically show us where it started. I think that's very exciting, and I'm fine with it unfolding. I just need something in every episode, and I feel like I got that in 3 and 4. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be blasters and robots all the time.
Well,
I just want to get moving.
There were 4 Star Warsy elements in the 4th episode. You saw TIE fighters. Yep. You saw them go to hyperspace in a ship. You saw an astromech in the background, and there was one other. But it's not beating us over the head with traditional Star Wars tropes.
It's almost too much in some of these other shows. I'm fine with it.
The easy thing was to have that corporate thing be Empire. That would have been the easy thing to do, okay? And have it just be like a really low level, Empire substation, whatever. And
that's what it is.
No, but I'm saying it's basically. But we're seeing part of that just being, this was a. But it's like I said, it's different. We didn't even see those uniforms. We didn't see those uniforms until
they wore denim versions of them.
Yeah,
didn't they look like denim uniforms?
Kind of, but it was also, again, like I said, it was a.
I think it really shows you how far down, because even in episode 4, the people in the white uniforms are so far removed from like the Death Star people, and even look at their insignia.
Yeah,
they don't even have any red bars.
They're like 3 squares. Yeah,
they're like low level, and then even these guys in the blue are way down. But that's where the rebellion starts, at this super low level, and gets to where they. And I think that's interesting.
Well, the people in the blue are not. They're not Empire. They're overseen by the Empire.
Yeah, they're basically
subcontractors that just got fired.
They're
like the Nazi youth or whatever.
No, it's not. It's more like they're the, they're
mall cops.
Yeah, mall cops, exactly, and
that's exactly what they are.
That's the perfect analogy, Barry. And they just lost their contract,
right? So quick predictions: the guy who's left, got kicked out and went home to live with his mom. Is he gonna, be? He's gonna turn and he's gonna be a good guy, or by the end of this?
No,
you think he's not going to
be a good guy.
I think he's gonna be like pursue them on his own, really.
Yeah, I thought he might become the Agent Callus of this
I think Monday morning he's going to enlist, and yeah. So
I guess we'll see where that goes. Yeah,
but I like it. I'm enjoying it. I think it's.
I'm enjoying it now.
I expected Todd to love it. I really did. So
you like that slow
I'm
burn.
letting it be its own thing, and it's like it's a character piece, and that's what it is. And I'm the same way right now with the Marvel Universe. It's like I don't want to see everything be the same. I'm really happy to see stuff be different and try different things, and maybe have it not work out as well as people planned. But if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's just not that interesting. and
like She-Hulk.
How are you guys feeling about She-Hulk?
She-Hulk is the opposite of doing the same thing over and over again. So
I know. So we're shifting. We could be shifting gears.
I am curious though.
It's watchable. It's just there's just nothing much there. I don't think. I think it's fine.
I like it for what it is, and I like it again that it's. I mean, put it this way: you're not going to see something in this that's canon to the next Avengers movie. It's just a different take on this. Just the way, again, in the comics, things are different.
So in last week's show, you said you were super excited.
I didn't see.
I now will tell you.
I didn't see last week's show.
Okay, so last
I'm
week's
talking
show,
about our podcast.
I didn't listen to that.
Everybody was predicting that Daredevil
Everybody
was
said Daredevil was going to be in it, and Daredevil wasn't in it.
And people lost their shit over that. And basically that was the point.
They showed his costume, his uniform.
I was like,
yeah, they showed his
fine
helmet.
with this show doing what this show does when they get to it. And they knew that people were going to lose their shit over it. They embedded a line in this that's like, yeah, this really came at an inconvenient time. It's not what you wanted to be. It's not what I wanted to be doing either. It was, I mean, again.
Well, and surprised to you guys maybe, or surprised to nobody, but I actually really like She-Hulk. I do
too.
I think it's really funny.
I like it because
it's totally different.
Bear, you also like sitcoms.
I do.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't watch any sitcoms at this point, but I've never approached this from anything but it's a sitcom that touches on the, that it intersects in the Marvel universe. And I like how they do both her characters. I just like I said, I'm enjoying this.
Me too.
And
I'm enjoying it too, but
I'm just not feeling it. But I'm
no
feeling
stakes in this, which is fine.
And it's okay.
And they're not. And that's the thing. It's like we've seen so many of these things where you're disappointed because it wasn't going where we hoped it went, or it wasn't going anywhere. And
there needed to be higher stakes, and they just didn't achieve them.
We also went into this
is blissfully inconsequential. Okay,
and is there anyone who had expectations of this? I mean, Jesus, like I just know the name She-Hulk. I went into this with no expectations.
No,
not like Winter Soldier,
Captain now,
whatever, in the Winter Soldier.
Right. Every series up until now, including What If, has had an impact on things that have come afterwards. Okay, I don't think this has to or needs to.
You don't think Titania is going to show up in a future Marvel movie?
I do not think so.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do something. There's something going on with the people trying to capture her. I wouldn't be surprised if something leads to something. I do think the next time we see Wong, he's still going to be with Madison.
I hope so.
I think that's a thing for now on.
I like
Madison. We're off course, but that's fine. That's what we do.
But that's again, I think that's actually a perfect parallel because they took what you expected or people were expecting, and they broke the mold a little bit and played with it. Some people are going to like it, some people are not. People, you don't have to like everything. It's not required, and you don't have to watch everything. And if this isn't your flavor of Star Wars or this isn't your flavor of Marvel, there's a bajillion other things to watch. You can go watch Lord of the Rings, or you can watch the Dragon Show and Game of Dragons if you want.
I think this is important to Star Wars, and I'm glad that they've made it like
Me too.
really, really get into the essence of why this started and how this started.
People bitching about this, and I see people bitching about She-Hulk, and it's just like no one is requiring you to watch. I mean, other than Barry forces us to watch this, we don't have a choice. It's no one's requiring you to watch, and just enjoy what you enjoy, and yeah.
That if people could actually do that, we wouldn't be in the shithole we're in. Everyone wants you to do what they want you to do. So
that's what, or think what. See things the same way they see things, or
we're the party of freedom.
It's exactly.
Can't do this, can't do that, can't do this, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that.
Yeah. It's again, like I said, it's keep breaking the mold because that's what we need to do. If we want these things to be around 5 and 10 years from now, they've got to do some different things. I think Thor: Love and Thunder was a perfect example of where, they thought they were going to go with what worked before, and it didn't work. So
what was interesting about that was and bringing it back to Star Wars too, like when they made Rogue One, they told him make a war movie, and then when he delivered a war movie, they were like, "Oh God, this is not Star Warsy enough. We've got to completely bring somebody in and fix it." And then when they were making Solo, they were like, "We're gonna make a comedy." And then they brought the Lego Movie guys in, and they started making a comedy.
Right.
And then they were like, "Oh no, we can't do this to Han Solo. We got to completely rewrite the movie. Bring in Ron Howard." So it's like when the Love and Thunder was going the direction it went, it's almost like maybe they should have course corrected there too.
I can't disagree with you.
I enjoyed Love and Thunder for what it was, but it's certainly a throwaway movie.
I would never watch that movie again. It's the last
texture-wise, what we're watching right now is closer to Rogue One than it is other Star Wars, and if you, I mean, when did you guys last watch Rogue One?
I watch it all the time.
No, I'm saying, I will tell you, every time I watch these Star Wars films that I will actually rewatch, I like them just as much as I always have. Every time I watch Rogue One, I appreciate it more than I did previously. And that film literally gets better every time you watch it. And you know, and again, this is, I think when this thing is a whole complete story, it's gonna be like a, I don't say a long or like volume 1 of that. And
I enjoyed that there was a random mention of Scarif in this fourth episode too. So like those are the Easter eggs we're getting. They're like lines of dialogue, and more than like seeing a character walk past in the background that you're like, oh, I recognize that species or that character.
And that's the thing. And it's like the what is the mentor, the enlistor guy's name? Guy from Thor. What's his
Stellan
Skarsgård
or something like that?
No, what's the character's name?
Couldn't tell you.
Oh,
anyways, I loved the little thing with him assuming the other personality. You know, going into the thing and like practicing his mannerisms and stuff like that, because he's just moving from being this guy to being this other guy, and you know, stuff like that. It's just he is.
Well, and I'm glad they finally brought Mothma into this, and I really did enjoy in the fourth episode the way you could tell that like she's trying to be as careful as possible, but like, you know, clearly like even the fact that she had a different driver, like
and that they had in essence they had a plan in place to distract the driver, because they know the driver's informing on her.
Yep.
And you know, they knew that I thought that was really well done. That was like
she did that so
right
well,
out of a spy novel.
Just with the looks on her face, you could tell, like, you know, she acted that sequence really well.
Yeah, I would say that actress could step in and replace Emma Thompson in Slow Horses, and you would almost not know the difference. They are playing like, I mean, the characters look similar, act similar. It was really funny, but I'm like I said, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad to see the pieces kind of fall into place. And once I realized what the pace was, it does not bother me, because I think you can't have gotten past the second episode without knowing that this is not going to move at Mandalorian.
I do think
it's not going to move at Mandalorian speed.
No, and my final thought is we need more Bix. Got to bring Bix back.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I will say the other thing, and I don't mean to bash Boba Fett again, but I will say
again.
No, I'm saying there were episodes of that where I was like, really? That's what they did with this? Okay, you know, that's what they did. Every option in the world, and that's what they chose to do. I have not felt that way.
It's almost the complete opposite of like, let's put as much things that get Easter eggs and all this crap in. I agree with you.
Very subtly building a mosaic here, and it's just whether or not you're going to take the time to see it.
Let us know what you think. Instagram us or whatever. Comment. Yep. Say something. I don't know.
Call the text line.
Call the text line. I don't remember the number.
It's on the website. Under contact.
Yeah. Go on the website and contact us. Okay. Are we going What's in the Box?
We're doing What's in the Box.
We are.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Barry, What do you got? What's in the box?
I've got two things I'm going to do. When Revenge of the Sith came out, I collected every action figure that they released in real time, and they are all in my attic. Not only did they release figures, they released clamshells that had the Revenge of the Sith branding on them that you could put the figures in, so protective cases. I got every figure they released except 3. And for 15 years now, I've been saying to myself, at some point, I'm going to go track down those 3 figures. And I never do.
Wait a minute, not say, I got to sell these figures in my attic?
No, I've gone the other way. I've got to complete the collection.
Okay.
And add more stuff to the attic.
It's Joshua's favorite movie, and he has told me repeatedly he wants me to keep those because he wants them someday. So I decided I would someday complete the series. Never took any action, never got motivated in any way to do it. Somebody posted in one of the Star Wars collecting groups a bunch of Revenge of the Sith figures, and I said, let me go figure out which are the 3 I need. And he had 2 of them. So I am now only missing 1. I got Separatist leader Paso Argine.
My second favorite character.
Yes. And then I got Separatist Cat Mean.
Oh, man, you scored.
Yes, so I'm now only missing the General Grievous's bodyguard with some kind of action feature, and I will have all of the figures from Revenge of the Sith.
That is second only to the guy that fills the cigarette machines in the casino. Figure.
Yes. So there you go. And then as a secondary, this wasn't in a box, but I was in Target the other night doing food shopping, and I still can't not go and look at the toys when I'm there. I found these, and I had to buy them. Playmates' new Wrath of Khan figures. Now, they also had a Khan, but he looked so awful I couldn't bring myself to buy him. But Kirk and Spock are actually really cool.
Oh, I love that Spock has the gloves.
And he comes with the gloves. And if you remember the box set that came out of the Enterprise bridge, it's the same artwork and the same logos as they called it Classic Trek. It's like, this just hit me in so many like collector feels from 20 years ago.
Retools or just
totally new tools? Yeah,
they're new tools.
You think
I am going to buy those. I'm going to buy those. Just
how much were those things?
They were like $12 a piece or something like that.
Yeah,
but
I can't get to go down that right. I just got out.
Well,
from
they
under
had
that
other figures
anvil.
that I didn't buy. They had Khan, which I would have, of course, bought Khan, except he just looked really bad. And then they also had a Saru and a Burnham that I thought looked pretty bad. But these two looked great, and they go great together. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't bought new Star Trek in a long time, but
through this whole thing again. It's ridiculous.
Todd, if you see them in person, Todd, you're going to feel like you have to have them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know what would actually be kind of
I like that they're Wrath of Khan. They're not just like TOS
is
again.
Getting like the different variations of Kirk and Spock. You know, have those be...
Now you tell me I would have sold them all to you.
Yeah, Dave had them all in his attic.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 what's in the boxes. Todd?
Well, I'm going next.
Yeah, Dave's going next.
Todd. So this is sort of a what's in the box / workbench that I was going to do last week, but so I bought a kit that on one of the Star Trek groups. Does anyone know what this is the part of?
Wait a minute.
Oh, that's the is that the pilot phaser?
That is the cage laser.
Phaser. Yeah.
So this is a kit that I bought from a guy made the kit. So it's the laser. It's the laser. They called it the laser from the cage episode.
Is it like resin, or what is it made out of?
It is resin. So this piece, this top is 2 pieces, and the handle is the grip is 2 pieces, and then this is added on. I have been working on, and then the trigger, and the trigger moves.
And the trigger was solid black. It wasn't another color.
No, I have a bunch of pictures.
And there's like a tube that goes on the front of it, right?
Yes. I'm not trying not to touch it because it's brass. So this guy machines stuff out of metal. So the tube is brass. It goes there. And then it's got machined aluminum pieces that go around it. The thing is, so I got this months ago. The resin casting was one of the worst castings I've ever seen in anything.
So how much sanding did you have to do?
It was not even the sanding. It was full of air holes. And at one point I emailed the guy and I'm like, this is the worst casting I've ever seen. So he sent me another one. But I was so... Here, I'll show you. This is what... So this is the front part. I know this is not for you people who are watching. So this is the front piece.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I was so far down the road of doing this, I got body filler and I filled it and sanded it and filled it and primed it and sanded it. I'm on my like fourth or fifth paint job, and so I'm finally to the point where I can put this thing together. But it was a beast. So I'm not saying who it was, and I wouldn't recommend buying it because it's just an awful piece, and it came with no instructions and everything. But anyway, and it has all these metal parts. So
I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's put together.
Yes, me too, because it's been a freaking nightmare building it.
Was it an expensive piece?
It was way
got all
more
that
than it's worth.
Aluminum and stuff.
It was overpriced. Okay. It was one of those things, but I have to finish it. And then, the cage things also have a little flip-up sight that goes on here. None of that came with it, so I'm cutting those on the laser cutter and stuff. So it's really like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Anyway, I mean, look, here's, you can't really see. The pieces don't even line. You see, like, it's just a horrible. It would be better to print this in 3D.
Or
Todd,
why does that even need to be cast in two separate pieces? You should have cast it in
people
one piece.
put electronics in here. I did not put it. It's hollow. I don't know if you can see. You could cast this print this in a resin printer because it's not that complicated without all that freaking work. But anyway, I'll show it when it's finished. So Todd, what's in the box?
Okay, so I ordered some stuff from Fanboy this week, and as I occasionally do, I was perusing through the offerings on the website and seeing some, because sometimes like you pre-order stuff and sometimes you like pass stuff on pre-order, but then when it comes in or down the line you say, I probably should have got that. I ordered Locutus. I talked to you guys about that. And I ordered the Moon Knight statue, which is up there. They just put new images of that. That looks really cool. And so then I saw an item that I had known I had pre-ordered. And so I wrote Troy and I said, you got this in stock? I said, but I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered this. And Troy, as Troy does, got back to me in just a few minutes and said, yes, you paid for it, and I shipped it to you in February. and I said, no, that's not possible. This is quite a large item, and I would have remembered. And he says, no, here's the other. We grouped all these things together. It was a really big box. Here's it was 4 items with. And I said, I have all those other 4 things, but I don't have this. And he said, it's the box is 12 inches by 28 inches. Okay. And he says, he even looked up what the weight of the package that he shipped me. Okay. And I'm like, Troy, I don't know. I don't think I ever received this. Could it be 2 boxes? And he says, nope, it was 1 box. And so I'm walking around talking to him on the phone. I go down to the basement to the vault and I'm looking at the walls of Hot Toys boxes and yeah. There's a 12 by 28 inch box sitting on the shelf, absolutely unopened, that I opened the box down there and I set on the shelf and never opened it. And it is the Batpod.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which I can't hold up because it's so large.
I remember you talked about ordering that.
Yeah, I did pre-order that, and it was sent to me. Okay.
Jesus, that was in boxes with other stuff. In a box with other stuff.
It was ginormous. Okay, it was probably the biggest box he's ever sent. This thing is freaking awesome. Okay, as I finally did take it out of the box, like a Catwoman sitting on it here.
So you've had that since February and didn't even know.
I've had this since February. Didn't unbox it, but actually looked up, and there was stuff going on at the point that it came in, and the stuff that like I had room for upstairs went upstairs. And the rest of this went where I had unpacked the box. And I just like, completely forgot.
That's pretty
that
funny.
This thing came in, and it's like it is a, it's a fairly expensive and but more so, very substantial box. That, like I said, when I looked at the website, and I was like, I remember thinking like a month or so ago, when is that Bat Pod going to come in? And then I see it as he's got them in stock, and I'm like, oh, he totally forgot me. And no, he did not. And so,
because Troy would never forget.
Troy would never forget.
Pre-order.
He doesn't forget. And, he mentioned, he said a couple times he said, this is not the first time this has happened. He said other customers said, oh, you never shipped this, whatever. And then ultimately went through and found that he had. And Troy said, yeah, you have to tell a story. So I did tell the story. Yes, I've had something that I was looking forward to sitting here unnoticed since February. So if you have any interest in the Bat Pod, he still has them in stock, and it's really freaking cool. So now I just got to find a place.
And there is a new Catwoman figure out for pre-order. So if you don't have the figure to put on it, you can get it.
You can do that, and it does. You do want the Catwoman figure.
Oh yeah.
That's the way you want to go. So my apologies, Troy. I doubted you for a second, and I should not have. But yeah. But hey, I'm glad I didn't have to order this or have him.
But it's kind of nice sometimes to have something and forget about it and then be surprised by it. So
yeah, not to this degree though. I mean,
February is a long time.
It was pretty humiliating when I'm on the phone with it. I'm like, what? Well, there's a box next to the Hulkbuster. What is that? and yeah, yep, that's what it was. So, anyways, that's what's in the box, what's no longer in the box, and what's in the box I didn't know I had. So,
sweet.
There you go.
Yep. So,
it's not an indication that you have too much stuff.
In no way.
Have anyone think that.
No, just really indicative of how busy I was in late February of last year.
That's it.
So
cool. So that's what's in the box. Okay, I know we have a last thought.
Yes, for those of you who survived our Wonder Woman episode a couple weeks back, at least one of you followed along. Okay, and actually, no, a couple people who did. But Doug Monroe, our good friend, reached out and sent some screenshots as he was following his way through. And
we don't need proof. We trust you.
He gave us a screenshot.
Because I think, Dave, you did say if anybody let us know that they watched, you
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Doug, if we haven't sent you a hat, let us know, and we'll get you a Regular Joe's hat out to you.
Yes, and if we have, we'll get you something else. We'll send you a Bat Pod.
We'll get you something else, because we got a few other...
Todd's got other things down on his shelf he doesn't even remember having, so we'll just give those away.
Maybe I'll just go down to the vault and
exactly.
pick a choice bit that I don't remember buying and send that to you, Doug.
Doug, reach out to us, DM us, or you know how to get a hold of us.
I've got 60 Revenge of the Sith figures up in my attic. We could start giving those out.
Barry can give you a rare... A totally unknown character.
Yeah, Josh wouldn't like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Doug, just DM me, and if you do have a hat, let me know. If you don't, I'll get you something else. Or you do, I'll get you something else. We'll get you. Appreciate you going through and sitting through that.
And I believe he actually indicated that he liked it too, to some
degree.
degree.
Good for you.
So.
I'd like to think that our commentary helped make it fun, and that it wasn't that he actually liked that show. Entirely on its own merits.
You never know.
Yeah, well.
But whatever.
So cool.
Yeah.
So thank you, Doug. Next week, something else, I'm sure.
Yep.
What else is coming up? Stuff is coming. Oh, we never... Did you guys watch Quantum Leap?
No.
I recorded it.
You did?
We should all watch it for next week.
Yeah, we should. Yep.
I recorded it. I have not looked at it. But
I'll try to fit it into my busy viewing schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, there's plenty of stuff going on, so be watching stuff. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.